Okay. Good evening, learners and everyone here. Okay. I think this is our fifth day, no, fourth day, fourth talk, I guess. Yeah, I believe fourth. We have 2 more to go. All right. Today, I think maybe I'd like to first to start with the address, still about the 5 hindrances, but in a daily, for the daily life also. Certainly for the daily life as well as it has relation to when they do meditation, what they have to be cautious about, and if people really have a better meditation state, how they can keep the better meditation state, in their life, basically. Okay. So we know that when someone do meditation, now since we have practiced the 4 Salai abiding here, either so far we have done the meditation on loving kindness, and we also have done the loving kindness and compassionate, and we also have done the meditation on the joyous. Okay? And the 3 of these so-called the meditation object, or if we put it more in the precise Buddhist term, in the 3 kammatthana, mean you could say the actions or the place of actions, the 3 places of action. Okay, the actions that mean the mind action. Okay, refer to. So literally mean kammatthana, or just directly translation mean the 3 meditation objects. Okay, so and we still have 1 more meditation object to go. That is equanimity. So, in other words, actually, even though we are meditate under one of the big umbrella, the umbrella of the 4 Salai abiding, but in this umbrella you have 4 pillars there. Okay, and then the first pillar, as I say, is the loving kindness. The second is compassion. The third is the joys. And in traditions, when I say tradition, certainly, if without the first, at least the first, without having a good practice on the first, that means loving kindness, it is traditionally believed that it's very difficult to practice the second and the third. So, say the example of the third. I think today I also, in one of the Q&A, I talked that about, what is a loving kindness? Like when you see a baby, right? When you see a baby, you just wish the baby the best in their life. It's a very kind, very gentle kind of mind. Have all the best wishes for the baby, because normally we don't have any aversion, anything towards the baby. So unless you feel the baby will threat your life, Chucky. Anyway, and unless you feel that the baby will threat your life, or unless you have identified the babies belong to somebody that you don't like, and then when this baby grow up, it's going to threat your life too, right? So in other words, unless you feel the baby will threat your life. So in general, we always generate this kind of very the general, what we call Buddhism call the loving kindness mind towards baby. Why we call that a loving kindness, or sometimes loosely translation could be love, because that this kind of love no lust, without lust. It's just pure, good wishes, pure concern, or pure wishes a person have the best in their life. Of course, that when the baby grow up, become very mischief, especially if you have a very precious thing and the baby have break it, so and then you maybe start to hold a certain idea. And you hold a certain idea. That's how we have problem. So I want to say this because it's also the way to tell actually why we can be forgiving to the baby, but it's very hard to be forgiving to others. Because basically it's for sure that the other person's, when, let's say the baby grow up and then you've been always friendly with this little kid, and then he start to walk and started to be grow up, to start to talk and started to, not necessarily their parents, but like, just a friend. And they started to play around, some they cry. So when you cry, what you do? You do compassion meditation, right? Yeah, you just wish that, you feel sympathize kind of with that baby crying, and then you wish the baby, out of the crying. Don't you? Okay, you deserve that. Keep on, right? No, it's you feel that really. That you try to sometimes with the action you try to stop the try to kind of like antis maybe whatever try to let the baby not to cry, not to continues to cry. Okay. And also sometimes the little baby also very mischief. It could be some mischief, but you don't mind because you think it's ignorance, okay? You think the ignorance is fine. But when the baby little grow up again, especially of course the baby, when they're very small, even though I guess in general, even if it breaks something, you get very angry also. Let's say you have a very precious vase or vase, and then the baby was just, when it come to your house and break the vase, of course you get very angry. But maybe normally you don't angry with the baby, you're angry with the parents, right? Even though you won't say it out, you say, what happened with the parents? So bad. This baby here, So, and then especially if the parents is inconsiderate, and we just left without saying a word also, without saying, I will pay back, You do meet these people, don't be surprised. I have met many already, okay. And then, of course, then you hold up a kind of idea. That's what we call like a resentment, right? Okay, that's actually mean animosity. So, and then the kind of resentment comes up in our life, and it was built up with the resentment, and then maybe from that onward, so, and then the parents maybe, because the baby is so small, it will not say anything, and the parents would call and say, oh, I want to visit your house again. He said, oh, I'm so busy, I'm sorry, I had to go out now, oh no, I'm so engaged now, so all the time, right? And especially, but somehow you don't have any antagonist idea towards towards the baby. But then because of the parents and this connection with the baby and the parents, so then you stop the baby come to, right? All right, let's say, but then when the baby grow up again and become like a teen, okay? So somehow it's been after so many years, you completely forget about this thing. You think you forget, okay? Completely forget. So and then the teen come to your house again, okay? At this time, also, and very, very unfortunately, whatever reason, and this teen also break your vase again, okay? For the second time. You think this is funny, but if you look at your family, you know what I'm talking. So, and then break the vase again. So, and what happened is that, and then, of course, you got very angry, And the teen didn't understand. The teenager, about 13 years old, he didn't understand why he gets so angry. And he would say, get out, run away, get out. Okay. So anyway, so that's how, from that onward, so to you that this teen is a troubled person already, okay? But what he have done is only one thing, just break the vase, okay? Now, from the resentment, and then the second thing comes, so your memory, because you remember what the past, and then that's why the resentment come, and then you didn't get loose of this resentment, and then you get another thing. I don't know how to translate. Actually, it's called anger. Sometimes you can translate as anger. So and then you have the anger. And then, of course, you can be like the first time when the baby break your vase, and you get anger only to the parents. Okay? But then after the anger ceases, but the resentment still carry on, right? And then, yeah, because you've been interrupted by many things, you come here to do meditation, and this thing has, you don't remember, it's just gone, and you feel very nice. But then, okay, let's say you go back home, and then that's how that happened. The teen came to see you, the teenager came to see you, and then that's how they break the vase. So with that remembering, so that the resentment will be upgraded to the anger, and upgrade again, and then to a kind what we call the furious, right? That's why you kick that person out, right? And that's a furious, yeah. So it's interesting, these three things, these are my translations, like resentment, and then anger, and then so-called furious, okay? They are three different things, actually. But they all have the same base. The base is the anger. What we call hatred, okay, I translate as a hatred, as a root, okay? But you do find that sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Let's say maybe, let's say the same scenario happen again. Or you're able to change back the scenario. That you go back that time, okay, say the same scenario happened again. So the baby came, you were very loved the baby, and then somehow the baby break your vase, okay. But at the time, actually, the parents were talking to you though, I have this kind of deed, is it called deed? Like, I have inherited a lot of money. You're my good friend, so I give half of you. $20,000, so the vase is only cost $1,000 anyway. So, and then the same thing happened again. So, but the thing is, when that thing happened, you don't feel the same reaction. Maybe you're thinking it's because of $20,000. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's because that time you are happy. Your mind is filled of joy. Okay? But of course, that should be strong enough, because it's $20,000. So the joy is very strong. No? That's why you have different kind of happiness, right? So in the joy and joy. So that's why the same scenario happened, and then you just feel like, oh, how wonderful baby. How cutie, okay. And anyway, okay, because, am I right? No? I'm quite pretty sure if just after it say give you $20,000 and you sign it already, that definitely is there, I don't think you will get angry with the baby, with the vase, okay? Depends on what, of course, the vase is just $1,000. So, and, even though maybe something really serious, but you still better form. Okay, this is also actually telling you that that's the reason why when the people are joyous, so also a lot of these things happen in our life, we don't necessarily react in a very, very strong way. So what does it tell us? Okay, firstly, it tells us that something, if it's missing. So according to the Buddhist analyze, that something if it's missing, or something if it's not there, you can have a better life. Because, you know what I'm saying, you can react differently. The thing had happened already. So that is what the Buddhists say, when the hatred is missing, and then you're in a better form, okay? Your life is in a better way. And then your mind also in the much in control, and much in, you live in much more free also. I don't know whether people recognize that. That's also one, but we have to not only just say, that's the reason why some people, they always know one thing, they have to find happiness, right? But if they don't know why this happiness, sometimes even when they look for the happiness, but when they do it wrongly, it makes them miserable too, right? That's, and the same thing, and the same thing maybe some people, they also somehow, they also know that in their life, they have to find so-called compassion. Because compassion makes them feel like I'm a person. Am I? No? Looks like I have to talk into stone. I have to look here next time. Camera. Okay. Okay. Looks like a person. It does. I mean, that's why some people, and they think that if I just to help other people with compassion, so and then you make their life, of course, because they did taste the goodness there. But then also, if they don't understand what is actually the main condition for somebody to really have compassion, if they don't get it, they may be also asking a miserable for themselves, sometimes even for others. You don't understand what I mean? Okay, give me one example. Let me see. I can, because I hardly do that, so I try very hard to think about this. But I know somehow similar to this situation, like, something like, when you, actually, it is more like because you think I have compassion, you have to do it, for example, like that kind of thing. Anyone give me an example?
Yes.
What?
So there's an old lady trying to cross the street and
Okay.
you want to help her, and the lady goes, you're like, I don't need your help. You go with compassion.
No, but the
okay. Response is like, I don't need your help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not old.
So are you going to punch her?
Huh?
Are you going to punch her?
No, but I'm kind of shocked that I try to help, but she kind of hit me. So no, I mean.
Well, but
I practice following heart.
yeah, but that's true. But let's say if you're going to help her, and then she's going to help her because she thought you're molesting her. You are right.
But my intention was out of compassion that I'm trying to help.
But it's unwise sometimes.
Yeah, it is unwise.
Okay, but I mean, you have to let her know, do you need my help? But you don't just go and grab her.
Yeah. Because the light was changing.
But you can tell her that the light is changing. Do you think that? Yes, okay, right.
I mean, it didn't happen to me, but I've seen a movie.
Oh, the movie, I see.
I'm just giving you an example of what.
No, actually, that's what. Okay, fine. Thank you for that. But there's a discussion there. But I think my example actually is like, I think there's sometimes it happen like, oh yeah, something like, the mother, so say, you got to go to that university. You have to go to only Harvard University. Otherwise, and, I will punish you, something like that, right? But sometimes they could think that is compassion because for the good future. So, but then, you know what I'm saying? Something similar to that kind of thing. The thing is, I have compassion. So otherwise, when you consider for your future whole life, if you do that, you definitely you will be good. Now, but that's why I say, there are many, but I mean, this is sorry, it just come up in my, like this kind of example. I just want to say the fact is, why it is not? Because that time, actually, when that kind of idea comes along, look at the mind, it is full of the anger, resentment there, anger there. Could be, I never been there. I want you to go there, right? There's a resentment. It could be many. I didn't have the chance, but now you have the chance. Why couldn't you go? All this, I'm saying. So in Buddhism, so yes, certainly compassion should be supposed to be always a good thing. But then how come sometimes it come up not necessarily, not a good thing as compassion? As I say, that's wrong. It's not compassion. But the compassion, because of it, for those who practice, they know. The first condition of that is that, so it has to be that kind of quality of the mind should be that when you double check it and check it again, there is no hatred there. So that's compassion. It could be, maybe you didn't understand the situation, but I'm sure it's not going to grab her. Like, you didn't understand the situation, but then some suggestion or some advice, whatever, not appropriate even could be, but your mind actually is full still, by giving this advice or whatever, is still out of this hatred. Okay. So out of hatred. Now maybe giving this example, like if there's a same scenario, almost similar, like I want to advise somebody you should have a better life like that, right? So if you just say, when you understand out of compassion, you want to say, I think if you can, if you look, if you go, if you try all and look at it, it looks like there's likely, highly probable, or like highly possible that if you go, and then you might be, have a better life. Of course, I'm not too sure about that, but you can think about this, This is just my... Usually, you will talk that way because your mind is not with the resentment, not with the hatred, not with the anxiety. So when your mind is free of the anger. So I do not mean this suggestion is wrong, but I just say that actually makes a lot of difference. And these make differences actually will also... That's the reason why sometimes when the people suggest you something, you do feel you can think about this. I'm talking when we are not mad, when we are in a normal state, when we are pretty like normal, just like normal. You know, I'm saying normal, I mean that, not really angry. Yeah, not really like drunk. Yeah, not really like something really huge. If not, like a normal. But sometimes that's the reason why some people give a suggestion. You could somehow feel it's genuine or you're pushing me. Get it now? It's a genuine. It's that really people are with a good heart to tell me something. Or actually it's just, you could do that, you have to do this, you do that, that you feel a lot of pressure on that. How? So I think that's my understanding. Of course, I'm not saying this is only, but my understanding is it's because mostly you understand that, mostly you feel that something is there, not there. That is, the anger is not there. Something, hatred is not there. So even though you may not accept it, but he just tell me, basically really he's considering me. He's really concerned about me. So rather than just give me an idea, actually the idea is not talking to me, it's talking to themselves. So, all right, so by giving this thing, saying this thing, in other words, we know that when we practice this loving kindness, compassion, and joy, one of the factors besides we can build up this concentration, so-called samadhi, but we also actually understand that whenever this kind of loving kindness, compassion, and joy is my dear, it should be the hatred is not there, because both cannot stay together. Okay, the both cannot stay together. So it's one of the very easy way, especially when you meditate, because you can let this dissociate, the hatred dissociate you for a long time. You know what I mean by long time? At least when you meditate, trying. So for a long time, and after meditation, you still feel that. You feel pleasant, nice, and you change it because this hatred are not as usual. They always, when they get more chance, they come to you. You beat them down already. So, and then they still have to wait time to recover and come back. And you beat them down again, and then they wait time to come up and forget. Maybe you say, why you say the word beat? It does, because even in Buddhism, when the king, the heavenly king called the Sakka, in Chinese, 第四天, okay, and then the king Sakka came down to ask the bhikkhu. He did ask one question. He said, another question he asked is that, is there anything that in the world that you can really kill them down, and then you don't feel regret, But then that's a question. You kill them or you beat them down, you don't feel regret.
Beat them or kill?
Yeah, and then you don't feel regret. So the answer, and this Arahant told that the king of the heavens and called Sakka and say, yeah, the hatred. Okay. When you have beaten the hatred away, that means you beat them or you kill that hatred, you don't feel regret. Do you? Do you get the answer? It's very interesting. Because in other words, mean when you have the hatred away, regret never arises. Now, this is also interesting thing. It's telling you when people have regret, you have to be cautious because the regret is also associated with the hatred. Okay. All right. But because regret has much to do with the resentment. Okay. I studied regret actually is a kind of resentment, manifestation of resentment. Well, this is that's why it's always Buddhism have a lot of this kind of answering question, and especially the divine beings when they come down, they ask very smart question, and the answer is always very, very sharp, I would say. And sometimes some people think, oh, what it is? Everyone know. No, it's very sharp. That's the main factors. So okay, now. We back this. After this, if we understand this, it's very useful. Whenever sometimes we might make mistake, we might not make mistake. We know that. So sometimes I think I have a loving kindness, but why I don't feel that? Sometimes you think that I had compassion. Why don't I feel that? Sometimes you will think that I do have the joys, but why don't I feel that? Well, I mean, one of the way to check it is always to see whether you do have the hatred there, Okay, maybe some other people tell me, I don't know what is hatred, but I always anger. We always learn how to count money, even from far distance we know that is how much. But that's what Buddhism say, we don't actually look inside that much, right? So we don't look at ourselves much enough usually. We look other. That people look ugly. It's a judgment there already. Actually, why that person dressed the same as me? And I'm the most beautiful one dressed with me, right? So, and the jealousy comes, right? And then sometimes we also think that what? Just now somebody say, he got a job and I didn't get a job, right? And that is, you look outside, okay? And then also, like many, I don't want to say that. I'm sure you know more than I do. So it's, when people get success, we feel very difficulty sometimes. Yeah, maybe you don't. Okay, I don't know. Somebody feel difficult. And then when the people feel, when they are better than you feel very difficult too, right? And then I forgot there are a few things there in Buddhist text. Anyway, so important I want to say that you look outside, and then you always say why he can be richer than me, why he can do meditation better than I. And then, of course, if you know that somebody say, I have a problem in my meditation, you feel very happy. Really? Me too. And actually, your mind was thinking, I'm better than you. I'm so great, so glad to know. Okay. And don't be surprised. I have met many of these. Sometimes actually, in anything it's the same. Especially these. Unfortunately, sometimes I don't like this kind of culture or the education, but it does come to. Luckily, not my parents. I have to say, definitely never. My parents never teach me this way. But I knew that when I go some other place, I saw that this is how they teach. Like you got to when you speak, you have to be very careful, because when you tell them something good, they will jealous you. And you will be in big problem. And this is how they teach children. And out of compassion, they think. And I'm very surprised by that. Maybe my parents are so bad, I'm not sure. My parents never teach me this way. My parents never asked me, you don't talk this way because people will get jealous of you. So they teach you all the way, be careful this, be careful that, be careful this, be careful that. Anyway, I never, and unfortunately, I knew that also certain way, some people even encourage this kind of thing going on. Anyway, all right. So, that's actually, there's a vicious circus going on. I don't want to analyze this at the moment. I'm saying this because that's how why the people then, it's from a very earlier time, they learned not to be honest to what's happening. They have to learn to always find a way to avoid to seeing what's happening right there, right inside. So, and but avoid to see that, because, and that's the reason why, let's say, I feel nice because I am, today I get a good mark, okay, and so the jealousy comes along, of course, and at the same time, and then why say that about those people first? Why these people they jealous? Yeah, maybe it's the nature. Okay, partly it's the nature, and second is because the society teach them already is very competitive, right? That is determining your future. So of course, if that is determining your future, and then when people have higher mark to you, that means that person take your future, right? Then you end up a kind of craving, a wrong concept, wrong view to the people. So what is meant by future? Do the parents know? They don't. But they teach them, that's the way. So, and then that's why, and I mean, I can understand if you tell them this is your future, and then when you find they are better than you, of course, my future is gone. Right? That's why this nowadays, I think to me as a kids they get so many anxiety, right? They get so many anxiety because they always think their future is gone. And then when people better than them, this is gone. When the people like this meditation, I hope you don't have this mind it's not easy, especially this. But this technique, I would say, even better already. If you practice other technique, maybe much more tension there. So that is that, wow, he do better than me. You almost like, because that's kind of general habit in the brain, right? And thinking, wow, now he's better than me. Almost like my future is just gone also. Okay, and then that kind of worry will make them, of course, to give a lot of reason to justify the behavior and so on. Okay, we're back to this. So if that happens, maybe because from the past, whatever reason, that means karma, the past karma have been that helped doing that to me in my life, and I didn't aware. So at this time, actually, when you do this meditation, you should be able to aware that I can be very happy actually without thinking. Let's say somebody better than me, I can be very happy for him, for her. But you are not creating the conflict. Actually, being partly so patika usually sometimes translate as anger also. Okay, you don't create this kind of counteract. You know, you actually, on the contrary, you are cultivating a better connection. Then rather, from there, you and I 势不两立. The patika, I don't know how to say in English. The 势不两立 mean, if it's not you, it's me, you know. So, but when you do this meditation, please understand, especially when you meditate, sometimes meditation gives you wonderful feelings. Wow, profound this. Sometimes, no, but it gives you the reality, which is actually is the most precious thing. That, oh, I am having this mind now. If it's not you, it's me. But people maybe don't like it. My meditation is not good. Okay? But on the contrary, your meditation is better. Okay? If that's really happened in your heart, that you have this, you can see that happening to you, Actually, your meditation is better than people. I'm wonderful. I have samadhi. Okay. You have to be able to recognize this. If you don't recognize this, you're still like a snake. No, we don't say snake. Snake is worse. Eel. So always slippery, slippery. And you've seen it, but you just slip it away. Again, slippery. So and then, when that slippery goes again and again, what you can do? So even when you're supposed to practice a meditation to see yourself, right? I can see through the thing. If I even have a power, I can penetrate it and cut it off. Of course, that is really feel very powerful. But anyway, if it's not, at least I see it. Just like a house, you got a rat, you see it. I haven't able to catch it yet. So if you see it, so at least you know that you didn't have the sharp, you haven't catch the rat. But at least when you see it, you know, oh, now I know why this thing gone. That is a hole, right? And it helps you to at least not eating some unhealthy food, not get sick, and also prevent something. At least even the rat still sometimes come out and go. But you saw, oh, I know there's a rat. Now I saw that, but I couldn't catch it. Fine. So you have to understand this is actually a very, very good meditation. Okay? And of course, if you sleep it, no, I didn't see it. Then you create the problem. But you are doing a good thing, but that create what problem? Even you are almost like when we're doing meditation, one of the way is that you are able to see the house. In other words, mean yourself, where they have many mouse there, okay, a rat there. But you see it and then you pretend you didn't see it. Now then that's a problem. The problem, even you're doing this, you don't see it, but then also telling, to analyze it, we're telling you that all the time you might be doing the same way. Okay? So if you understand sometimes, also can understand this way, if you understand that if you can clean the house a little bit, even the rat is still there, and then at least sometimes you can clean the house in a better way, or just like you clean your mind in a better way, represent as a samadhi, then samadhi will never arise. Okay? Then the samadhi will arise. Then why some other people, in other words, mean you may question, why some other people can arise a samadhi? Because I think in their life they see this thing already. At least they really see there's a rat there. Okay? Maybe they through their life experienced. Okay? They somehow correct something. This is actually what you could say, seeing the rat that makes the problem still there. It's actually, it means, you could say that as this means you're cultivating the virtue. Just cultivating this virtue. So that's why when you see the rat, you definitely will clean the place. Some place you should be careful. So then the virtue will develop. So the pureness will be there, right? Okay, now the next question I want to say, after saying this, next thing I want to say is that when we cultivate this, if you want to clean the place, in other words, mean you want to mind, that always can stay in samadhi. Either you have, either you don't have. But you know that you want to get samadhi, the 5 things had to be away. So I need to repeat these 5 things, and including one more thing is called ignorance, but I will say that later. The first thing, of course, then you have to be put away is always remember, try to be abandoned or keep away your, the sensual lust, okay? What does it mean? It means that you always based on the eyes to make you attach to the eyes. In other words, you always have to see good thing to make you happy, always. Or because you want to hear, like people, if they always have the iPhone to listen music all the time. I don't mean you don't listen, okay? Don't be go extreme, okay? There are people like that. Just say, oh, the master say, the teacher say, don't listen. I didn't say don't listen, okay? I say no. I say all the time. Whenever they feel not happy, when we're not happy, and that even now this is not enough. Sometimes even that is not enough, eating. No, look at that, even not enough. And then they have good smelling place. But actually this is even not enough. The most comfortable sofa, like there. Most comfortable, like a water bath. Good smelling and hearing, and then also some chips. Huh?
And then they need to be drunk on top of that.
Oh, yes, that's true. Because you know why they get drunk is, I think, my understanding somehow, is, and then when these things, because this is about to be, this when you shut it off, right, you're about to have a good time again. But they don't want to get the mind become unentertained already. So then you have to something to let your mind be, they call it excitement, actually is a kind of, to how to say, to dull the mind. Otherwise they feel like, it was wonderful, everything is wonderful, seeing this and hearing meowing and mouth and all. And then when this, because you cannot listen all the time, certainly, because the air, you know what I'm saying, it's too much, and you cannot just watch that, your eye become, strained too. You're right, but that's why they put it this thing, and then they have us drink something, let it down. That's why they make happy. So that's how the so-called material life, when it's very rich. I mean, when the people are not rich, they still look for that, but at least maybe just one, if they can hear the music, they're so very excited already. But now, actually, no, this is not enough. So, and they have to, the impingement becomes strong. I don't know why I say this already. I hope people are not going to throw the stone to me anyway. And if they this, in case they put it on and online, people hate me. Anyway, so I just say that, where did I go? Yeah, if after this meditation, I mean, I'm sure that when you're doing meditation, you realize that, I don't want to say the so-called, the extreme first. So I'm not saying that you don't listen, don't see, don't watch, but it's just, Buddhism never go extreme, okay? Not like, you see, I don't want this happen, like, Do you hear the talk? No, I didn't. Listen to his talk, okay? That's what it said. Don't listen, okay? Don't see, okay? Don't smell, okay? Don't need. Anyway, so this is basically one thing for sure is that after this you realize that your happiness. In other words, I mean, one way is that you have to put away the hatred. Okay, you learn. So yeah, there are so many ways to make you happy. I would say sometimes you need the senses impingement, but sometimes you need this. You can just put away the hatred. That's what I'm sure you know what I mean. Put away the hatred now. That means at least you can cultivate the compassion. You can just do the compassion, and then that's the reason why some people are so-called some of the volunteers, or some are people who are really nice, and whenever they get time, they feel bored in a job, they feel hopeless in their life, right? And then they say, I should go to a homeless place, I should go to any place, or a hospital, or what, to do a charity, then to do a good act, So why is good? Because when they do that, of course in Buddhism you're cultivating this compassion, But then the important is because when you really do it, I'm not saying that you're idea thinking and that you really do it with the compassionate act. Your mind is always out of the hatred, but only the compassion incessantly flow. So, and rather than at home and like that, you see. But so that's the one of the. That's the reason why actually they do that, and they see the life. That's life. They see the part of life. They see this is life also. They can make the life better, and better for others. So this also answer the question. I mean, if the people explain, I know that people will say, "Oh, just do good for people," but it's not more than that. It's certainly more than this. Because for your mind, for yourself, your heart actually is out of this hatred. And you are removing this, you are doing one of the wonderful practice in Buddhism. That's of course back to the marriage. You cultivate a great, like a bank, invest so many money there. It means you cultivate a great marriage. And also that kind of great marriage, why it say you do a good act and it will help you to go to heavens, right? Or be reborn to a good place. That answer the question is because the hatred has been removed. And then somehow you have a kind of freshness in your head. If you, of course, sometimes when the object is very difficult, you tackle it. But I'm saying when you're working on that with compassion, so compassion might you are actually feel fresh because the hatred is gone. It's only love. And then why you have only love? Because the hatred is gone. Okay, maybe answer that way. Okay, so now. This is one thing. And then we must also understand sometimes we do encounter problem wherever you go. Then that's why the samadhi is important. This act, if you have a stronger samadhi, and then then you can subdue the hatred for a longer time. Okay. Now, back to what I want to say. So maintain the samadhi, even though you might have you practice, you find it's quite good. How can I keep on maintain? I just said that already one. Remember, do not allow too much, okay, or too much of these sensual, this is what we call the sensual, the pleasures, sensual gratification. Do not allow that too much. You must try less, okay? Okay, that's one. And the second, so of course that you must always keep your mind to understand the hatred is the man. It's one of the. It's actually that's the matter is that you remove the hatred. I'm talking about especially in this in this technique. Now you're removing it, so you have to practice. Okay, in order to practice this loving kindness or compassion or meditation in terms of because you're focused on the object and you really have to create a stronger focus to let this. Beat this kind of hatred again and again and again and again because it's been with you for not only this life, but since the day you were there until now. Okay, so it requires a lot of effort to beat it down. That which actually makes you a better life. Okay. I think that time actually when when you say this yeah. And then also actually this hatred also, if you don't let it down, the hatred also can be triggered to become a kind of pride and proud. Also, it's very slight one. That's why I say you need to beat and beat and beat. At first it might feel good, but sometimes it becomes, it happened too, even in volunteers work too, I guess. When then they might have a good heart, and later on you find that they are very proud. They're very proud. So because if the samadhi is not very strong, because even though that you're not completely put off the hatred, but the hatred still sometimes come to you. It can be associated with the proudness. Okay. And then the proudness will give you a lot of power then you change another way of person, become like a bad person. Like that's how I usually say some activists, for example, they were really concerned with the people, and they really care about person from the start, and then they wanted to really advocate, ask people to aware of certain thing or this and that. Say that for let's say green energy, for the weather changing, and so on. So there's so many different political way, and they were working on that. But then you will see after some time they become very proud, and then they do have compassion at first. They want to do this. They sacrifice even their job. They maybe not doing anything, but they just want the good for the society, good for the world. But when they start to that, and then they start later on, they forget that if they don't have the samadhi to overcome this anger, hatred, then they become proud. Some very clear their hatred a lot, but some not clear, but you can see they're still, you know, I don't know how to tell you. It's like, I can't, you know what I mean? Okay, so you just see my action, you know what I mean. So that is one. Now, let me just, I want to say a story because people sometimes like to hear a story. When we say the story, allow me to show you my voice. The voice is, there's a very famous party chanting, but it's kind of like singing. But if I don't sing it well, okay, don't cry, okay? Okay. That's relate to the story. Okay. Maybe I translate first. Here it is translated as more violent than the Mara was the indocent, obstinate demon, Alavaka. Anyway, there's one of the Yakka. His name is called Alavaka. Actually, he's violent. Basically, what is more violence is when someone is very stubborn. Okay. Who battled with the Buddha throughout one whole night. Anyway, he has a battle with the Buddha one whole night. Him. So did the Lord of Sage, that means the Buddha, subdue by means of his patience and self-control. Anyway, the Buddha subdues this Yakka, called Alavaka, so who is very stubborn, obstinate, and also, basically very obstinate and very, like I say, there's a hatred going on. So, but how, on the contrary, the Buddha subdued him by what? By his patience. We talk about that patience because it comes from compassion, okay? Only when you have samadhi, compassion, that's called patience, okay? And self-control, by the grace of which may joyous victory be yours. Oh, that's what I'm going to chant. And it's also a blessing mean. It's a very famous blessing in Pali mean because this is one of the case. There's so many, but one of the cases the Buddha have subdued this Yakka. It's kind of like demon, and then by his power of patience. So may the victory be you, and may you be successful in any way. So chanting is like this: Marathire kamabiyo citta sabarating korang pana lavakamakang attatayakang kandi sudanda vidina citta wamunindo tang tejasa bhavatu te jaya mangalani. Is that good? Okay, let's tell the story. Who is Alavaka? Anyway, then once the Buddha, according to the story, said once the Buddha was staying in a mountain, okay, and the mountain actually is belong to it's a kind of palace, but that is a mountain. So, and the mountain belonged to this Yakka, or you could say a demon, a lower kind of demon, but very powerful, and called Alavaka. So when he arrived, he is the king of that kind of mountain, and in other words, his palace. So, and he was so furious to know there's one of the powerful guys stay there. So, and that's why what he could do is that, of course, to scare the Buddha away. So, and he send these, so-called the small armies, that his followers, and go there and use a weapon first to throw to the Buddha. Okay. Accordingly, there's none of the weapon because the Buddha, of course, believing he's sitting in the mountain there, and in the palace, so-called his palace. So when he throw these 9 types of weapons, that's basically is understanding in India in those days, there are all kind of weapons already, like this kind of weapon, or knife, or everything. When he throw over the Buddha, and then none of them hit the Buddha. So, and then, okay, so the weapon doesn't, wouldn't be able to scare the Buddha away. So what they do is that, and then they have asked these people to be changed the form and show their face, very ugly, horrible kind of face, when to scare the Buddha. And the Buddha didn't scare. Of course, why the Buddha should scare? He's no self already. So, okay, just say in a normal theory, no self already. And then the Buddha didn't scare. And then he knew, even that cannot. So that he himself, of course, have to appear, alavaka. And he appeared in the Buddha, and then he say, he told the Buddha, I have kind of a power. It's a kind of big, kind of like a coat. I don't know, coat. Okay, say a cloth. Okay, like a cloth, and a cape. Yeah, cape. Then that cape, if it thrown in the sky, so and then the whole places and the big area will be get drowned for 12 years. So it's such a powerful kind of thing. But if he going with this kind of cape, if it thrown on the land, and all these trees, and we will dry, the plant will die, the flower will immediately dry, and then the land will become charcoal, like a bird being burned down. So that, in other words, you can understand this kind of cloth has a power like a heat, right, and more than that. So, and then he said that I'm going to do that. So, but the Buddha also don't move. So, and then what he do, of course, he throw that to the Buddha. So he went to shake the Buddha. Actually, basically, the appearance doesn't fear. The normal weapon doesn't work, right? And then this is more than a normal weapon. It's like really powerful thing. So he throw the cloth to the Buddha, and what the Buddha do is only just using this. So we call because due to the kanti paramita. So that means he used a compassionate, the great compassionate samadhi. And then when the cloth come, that compassion is like, anyway, it's kind of light, thing will be there. So if we meditate long, you will know it, but it's kind of light, it will be there. So when the cloth was thrown, of course the Buddha is much powerful, we have no doubt about that. So our one is maybe we become burned out, I don't know. But anyway, so and the cloth was come down, and then it just become like then when he met with this, because this is with the hatred also, it means some kind of like it's burning hot, right? And then when the compassion is there, so it become like what we call this the cloth for washing the body, just a small cloth. It's become like a normal tiny cloth that flow down, like that. Of course, then he felt like he don't know what to do, but it's the only thing he would say, and he was thinking, the Alavaka thinking. Actually, after that, he got scared. But when he got scared, in a way, when he gets scared, and he started to, after when he knew this power would not work, immediately his mind become what? According to the Buddhist text say, immediately his mind becomes soft. Okay, when it becomes soft, but of course he still didn't want to, with it obstinate, because he didn't want to give up. So even his mind soft down already, because my most powerful thing doesn't work, but his mind soft down. When it soft down, when he fight that, but his obstinate still wanted to fight, and he think, so he changed the way he say, he asked the Buddha, go out, okay, go out. It's not like earlier, furious, right? It's not, he said, go out. So he softened down and asked, and the Buddha stand up and go out. And go, because the Buddha know his mind is softened. The difference is that, and the Buddha walk out, and then he saw he was about to walk out, and he say, "Come back." Okay, and the Buddha also listen and come back. And then when the Buddha come back, and he say, oh, and he thought like, oh, he's listening. He said, go out, okay? And the Buddha also go out again. And he say, come back. And then the Buddha also come back again. And then after that, and he asked again, that time he think, now the Buddha listened to me. But then the Buddha read his mind, of course, knew that just what. Before the Buddha go out and come back, because his mind soft. Okay? So, and then that time he think, the Buddha listened to me. So then, then the Buddha know that's wrong, right? So if he just order, go out, so what, And then, and that time he think, he say, the Buddha listen. So that's like, go again, then the Buddha don't go out. So, and he was also scared, of course, because he knew the Buddha must be powerful, but suddenly he don't listen to me. So, and then, that's the reason why then he say, then he come up with that, he say, okay, I will ask you questions. If you can answer me correctly, I will let you, basically I will let you whatever you do, okay? So, and that's why this question comes. I don't know whether you want to listen to the question, but I think it may be best just to save you. And then the first question is that, then tell me, what is the best wealth in the world? Okay, that's the first question. And the second question is that, what are the things that practice always give people happiness? That's the second question. And the third question is that, among all the taste, what is the most sweet taste? Okay, what is the sweet that tastes the sweetest? Okay, and the fourth, what kind of life you can call is the best life? Don't this is your question? But we have to understand, this is of course my interpretation. You have to understand, usually when a person is like him, he can be ruling a lot of place and powerful. Don't think they are stupid demon. No, they usually are very smart. Otherwise, those below one is not listen to him. Not only because they usually are very smart. They're not stupid guy. The stupid is always a small one, okay? Always, I'm sure the head of cancer, all this, I'm not very smart, it's not stupid. So anyway, don't think, how can he so wise to ask question? No, they are always smart. So, very smart. If you have met these kind of people, I believe I met, the so-called head of this and that, even though my morality in our standard might be not good, but they're a very smart person, usually. Okay. Anyway, so then the Buddha say, to answer that what is the best wealth in the world, then the Buddha say, faith is the best wealth, or confidence is the best wealth. In Buddhism, faith and confidence, is the best wealth in the world. The wealthy, you said I'm a wealthy person, what is the best and what? And the second, what kind of practice will bring you the happiness? And the Buddha say, the right path will bring you that is the practice will bring you happiness. And the third one, what kind of sweeter things in the world? But what is kind of taste is the sweeter things? And the Buddha say, truth is the sweetest for the taste. Okay. And then the fourth one, he say, how one can live a good, how can you claim a good life is a good life? No, how one can live as a good life. And he say, if you can live with the wisdom, that is the best life. So, do you have any other question? Do you have any better answer? I don't know, but I cannot come up with it. I did think about that before. Can it come up any other better than this? No. Okay, but of course then he later also asked 4 other questions. I'm not going to say because of time reason, but generally it's something about, so about when it's used the word mean, because the mountain, beside the mountain, up there is about the river. This is how I guess, because usually these demons, they might be, the most difficult is how to cross over the sea for them, right? That's why he want to use this as maybe very much of the like a material way, like how you cross over when there's a flood, and how you cross over when the ocean, and then how to cross over when there's a disaster, and then that's what they and how one can be purified, something like that, and that's what they like to know. But anyway, the Buddha basically say, it's the same thing basically mean you must have the confidence or the faith that you can cross over, and then you have to be always alert, and be cautious so that you can cross over the sea, and through your energy, so your energy, any difficulty you can overcome. So that's what they call disaster, like in our life too and everything. You just work disaster and energy. And the last one, how you can get this purification is say with your wisdom, and then you'll get the purification. Well, so after when he hearing this, he knew that not only power-wise he couldn't defeat the Buddha, but even the wisdom-wise, okay, to understand what is actually the main thing, important thing in the life, the Buddha can direct answer. That's why then he been subdued, okay. All right, that's actually so far. I think we should stop now. I'm going to continue the other few tomorrow. But basically we know, so one thing is that we should be less. If you want to keep our samadhi, keep on, we still have to be, try not to have too much of the sensual pleasure, based on sensual pleasure to make you happy. And then also try to be also away from this hatred, because the hatred, not only just hatred purely, but actually the hatred, if you don't watch well, especially with the samadhi strongly, then it becomes a kind of pride to you, okay, the proudness, like the demon. So here the Alavaka, he's the one actually, he's proud of himself, of course, he's very, and he has power and he can do a lot of things. That's why he wanted to see, he doesn't want, but also jealousy too, so he don't want that. One of the good guy, like a Buddha, stay in his place, okay. All right, thank you for your attention. I will speak that tomorrow. Thank you so much, yeah.